Who would have thought, by the way, who would have thought that it would be this administration, that it would be Biden's White House that brought us apparently the most dangerous dog of all time? If you didn't read the story, basically Biden's dog, named Commander, by the way, that's a Cujo-ass name right there. That Commander, what happened to Skip? Anyway, Biden's dog is on record. They've been keeping a tally for biting people at the White House 24 times. No dog should bite more times than years you expect it to live. 24 is a high number. And I think a lot of people are looking at this the wrong way. I really do. A lot of people are out here being like, I can't believe they letting this dog run amok in the White House. Why can't Biden control his dog? Everything. I think they're looking at it the wrong way. I'll be honest with you, because in my opinion, I'm on Commander's side. I really am. Because a lot of these dogs out here, they wear the vest. They wear the vest that says emotional support dog, and they talk about them being the emotional support dogs, but they not really about that life. Every emotional support dog I've ever seen has been very passive. And now we want to punish one for taking action. Commander just got good ears. That's all it is. His ears good as hell. Dogs have great ears. Commander hear everything. He in the White House. He hears people. He hears people on the other side of walls, behind doors, talking shifty behind Biden's back. You know how politics can be? And then they walk out into the hallway. And Commander standing there, looking at him like, call my daddy old again. No, don't back up. Don't back up. No, he was talking all that good shit earlier. Say it again. You know what trips me out about this story? You know what really stresses me out about it? Is that when you read the story, Biden's dog is on record biting 24 times. That's what's recorded, which means there are definitely unrecorded bites. That's just the ones people felt like staying to file something. Some people went to the White House, got bit, and didn't want to stand around to be like, it was him. Ooh. The other thing that really trips me out about this story is that the dog is on record biting 24 times. Never said 24 people. Which means somebody getting bit extra. There's a chance this dog has only bitten 5 people. He bit 4 people once, and then some poor dude named Wallace was just catching it. Nonstop, once a week, he knew. He knew that ass was grass. He knew. I'd like to think, I'm sure that for that many bites, that means that Commander bit somebody in at least one of Joe Biden's Zoom backgrounds. Biden on with the prime minister or somewhere, you just see somebody in the background going like, But I think they're looking at it the wrong way. I really do. Talking about why is this dog even in the White House? He bit Secret Service. Just make Commander Secret Service. Secret Service is very predictable. I actually worked at the Tonight Show when Obama visited, and so Secret Service was there. And you see them in action. Look, big dudes look very Men in Black. They got the shades, they got the earpiece, everything. They're standing next to the door. I'm not gonna lie, that must be like hell when you Secret Service, because anytime you stand next to a door, there are people that are like, is the president behind that door? But yeah, you would see Secret Service stand there, and look, I'm sure they're very good at their job. I'm sure they could kill you any manner of ways. But tell me what's more intimidating. A dude standing there that you might be able to get past, or a random dog. A random dog standing in the hallway that we know bites. It would fix so many different things if they would just let Commander be Secret Service. It really would, Sometimes Biden is giving a speech, and look, please, it's fine. It's me. You don't have to hold back, all right? It's me. I'm your friend. Don't pull back on me. We all know that sometimes Biden is giving a speech, and we are like, just get through it. We all know it, It's fine. You don't look, I'm just stating a fact. All right? Don't pull back on me. I also voted for the man. Fox News is not here right now. We can all be honest. Sometimes, not every time, not every day, but sometimes Biden is giving a speech and it low-key looked like he having side conversations with death. We've all seen it. He is addressing the nation. And then out of nowhere, he'll be like, and he cussing death out too. Like, he really let death have it. Like, you said you wouldn't take me on a Thursday. Why don't you get out my face? I'm trying to do something. And then he'll turn back to the camera like we didn't see any of that. The man is getting distracted sometimes. It happens. It happens to all of us, You get distracted. But I think that's why you need Commander. Instead, just Secret Service stand behind him being all quiet at everything. You have Commander walking in front of the podium. Stalking. Looking for who he likes, who he doesn't like. Commander sees somebody and he's like, hey! Cut that out! Commander getting loud is exactly what Biden needs. Every 30 seconds, Give him the speech, you go to turn. Oh, yes. Everybody wins. I love being here though, because y'all are great, you know? Genuinely, I don't know. Some parts of Portland do confuse me, and I'm not acting like I did the reading. So just let me be dumb for a second. You don't need to explain any of it. I'm just saying it did. 12 bridges is a lot. At 12 bridges, I don't know if everybody trying to get in or everybody trying to get out, but that's a lot of bridges. That sounds like y'all just let somebody go. Like you just let somebody cook who really like making bridges. Like everywhere you took him, he was like, you know what would be dope right here? Like, don't say it, Stephen. Don't say it. No, we put a bridge right here. Oh, it's gonna be lit, and it won't. But there's a bridge right there, Steve. And it's like, yeah, but you're not always over there. Sometimes you over here, and over here doesn't have a bridge. I'm trying to bring people together. You're trying to block blessings. 12 bridges is so much. I don't, look, this is gonna make me sound dumber. I don't even know where at 12 bridges, one of those bridges gotta be to Narnia. There's no way that y'all have 12 different bridges going somewhere. That's crazy. I like being here because y'all are very, very self-aware people. Maybe the most self-aware of any city that I've ever met. This is generally distressed. You'll just be making a general observation, be like, man, things are kind of odd here, and y'all are like, we know. We try. You know? And you'll be like, I'm not complaining. I've had very good food since I've been here, but y'all have some of the most like, it's too many weird things at once. Do you know what I mean? That's my, if I could give you a note, as a city, you have mixed and matched the weird in too many different ways as to not seem like you are on planet Earth. I was just trying to have some eggs Benedict. And it's crazy, you in a place where you getting delicious eggs Benedict and somebody's balls are out right next to you. I'm over here, Dip it in my hollandaise. I have not, this is my thing. All of this, I have not been here long. All of Portland happened to me today. At least New York gives you like a second before someone robs you. They let you get situated, get a little comfortable, let your guard down, then they snatch you. Y'all just come right out the pocket. I met somebody acting crazy as hell. Not even just acting crazy as hell. And that was my Uber driver. That's like, y'all really don't mess around. Y'all want people to know. So y'all are some of the most creative. I'm just trying to use nice words for it. Saw a dude with a cape wearing a computer monitor. dancing to no music. This man just on the street like, all right. Blown away, but I've had some good food since I've been here. Y'all are interesting because it's like y'all are weird, but also like some of y'all just very, very healthy, health conscious, healthy food and everything. This seemed like the only city in America that might have organic crack. Like y'all are really doing it all. I know I'm late to the conversation, but I found out about it late. I don't know how I missed it, but everybody's been arguing over if they'd rather be left in the woods with a man or a bear. It's a thing that started on TikTok, but then everybody's been putting their 2 cents in all across the internet on different platforms. And it's been interesting because I think it originally got posed to women. Would you rather be alone in the woods with a random bear or a random man, right? And I think people were astonished at how many women picked bear because it was a lot. I've actually seen very few videos that weren't bear. Which is shocking. It's like, I don't know, it took me aback. And a lot of dudes on the internet got very upset. They got so angry that they were like, why would you pick a bear? Why wouldn't you be, what, are you out of your mind? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't you want to be left alone with a random man, you stupid bitch? I don't understand what I'm doing right now. You know? And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I don't know how in my feelings I was about it, but I was shocked. I was just like, oh, wow, geez. And then you actually hear people talk about it. You actually hear, women say like, well, the worst thing that, a bear is gonna do is either attack you or leave you alone, right? A man could do so many worse things to you, And then there was one woman, and I think her sentiment was like echoed around all of social. It's just like, she basically said, at least if I got attacked by a bear, people would believe me. Which I was like, ooh. When I heard, I was like, ooh. Oof. Where do you go from there? What do you do next? What do you say to that sort of thing, Because it is true. It's a terrifying truth. It's a very sad truth. If somebody got attacked by a bear and ran up to you, you wouldn't be like, nah. Nah, you good. Like, just, it made me question as guys, because the women were saying men could do all different types of things, right? Bear could just attack or not attack, right? And it made me wonder, like, as guys, what are we doing that women would rather pick a bear? They'd rather risk their entire life than to be left alone with us and like hear about a podcast. It's rough stuff. I don't know if y'all saw this this Chiefs kicker. This is when it pays to be a sports fan, because I don't even need to explain all of it. But basically, in case you didn't see it, there was a kicker for the Chiefs who gave a commencement speech at a school that, I don't know, maybe he went there. Maybe that's why they wanted him. Seems like kicker is like pretty low on the list of who I want to bring to my school to sit, because this is like the last speech
your kids are going to get at education before you send them out into the world, you know? And he gets up there. And at first, it didn't seem to be like that weird of a speech. I saw people were messaging me about it, and I was like, what did he say? As I was watching it at first, I was like, what did he say? He's like, oh, just be a strong man, take care of the people around you, have good values, all the stuff like that. And then I kept watching. Because at first I was like, man, what's everybody been out of shape about? And then I kept watching, and then he was like, and to all the ladies here, I'm paraphrasing. To all the ladies here with your little degrees, go ahead and have a baby or your life is meaningless. He didn't really say that, but it's how people felt. And it's pretty crazy because I looked him up afterwards because I was just like, the weird thing about him is that because he's the kicker, he really feels this way. He has the least CTE on the team. These are his true and present values. But then I looked him up, and apparently his mom is a physicist. Which, I don't know. I mean, I guess to a certain degree, he's working something out there. If your mom's a physicist, I can't imagine how many times in your life you've been corrected. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's like, I just want a woman who won't talk to me and be right. Yeah, I mean, because his mom is a physicist and he's a kicker. Which means every time he misses, his mom can tell him exactly how off he was. I want to tell you a journey that I've had. I have become invested, captivated by 1-star reviews. Because this is my thing. Look, if you got 1 star as a company, you should be closed. But I guess legally not enough has happened where somebody had to come close you. So the public is taking it upon themselves to warn each other, hey, this place, no. Because when you see a 1-star review, this is the thing, 5-star review is like, wow, I had a great experience. I want to support this business. I actually also want to make sure other people have as good of a time as I had. So I'm going to spread the word with a 5-star review. 4 stars is like, okay, I had a good time, but there are a couple things they can improve. Let me let the business know. 3 is unnecessary. 3 to me is insane because 3 is you taking the time to go, meh, and it's like, that feels like psychotic behavior to me. I've never left a 3, all right? I've never left a 3. I go full 5 or 1. I either try to spread the gospel or warn my friends. 2 is like something happened. 2 is like, look, I would do a 1, but someone there was so sweet that I want to acknowledge how great they were. Because you'll notice a lot of 2-star reviews have something positive in them to a point where I'm like, why isn't this a 4-star review? And then you get to the end and it's like, but there was blood everywhere. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, I got you. So hospitality check. Wonderful environment check, but lots of blood in the bathroom. I see why you have a 2 now. I see you were trying to give props, you're trying to be fair. I personally have never read a 1-star review that I didn't wish was longer. One time I was just chilling with Logan and I was reading him 1-star reviews that were making me laugh. And I can't remember what the business was now. I'm blanking on the business, but I think it was like a seafood place. It was like a crab shack. And then there was a 1-star review that just said, "This place is a chair." No. Legally, you should have to keep typing. Don't just leave that. I don't know what that means. Like, you can also tell, because some businesses, this is a different, I'm digressing, but this is a different point. But you can tell when a business, especially a restaurant, is nasty, not just when it has low reviews, but when it acts like a dude on a dating app. You know what I mean? Like they'll be taking pictures of the food, but the pictures of the food too close. Like, it's not a picture of the food on the plate, it's just a picture of 3 pieces of rice with some peas in the corner, and you're like, that's too close to the food. That means the plate is dirty. A 1-star review is a testament to an experience, you know? I live in New York, so there are a lot of 1-star reviews of a lot of businesses that will never close because they're either fronts or they own the building, so they don't have to worry about rent. But there was my favorite is when a place is permanently closed, but you can still read all the information. Like, they haven't shut down the website and the Google reviews are still there. And there was a funeral home. There was a funeral home that had a 1-star review, and I was like, this is my afternoon. Thank you, Google, for picking up the slack. Like I said, every 1-star review leaves you wanting more. There was a 1-star review that just said, "They lost my daddy." We don't know where or how long, or "They lost my daddy" in all caps. One-star review as a whole is incredible because it means that everyone's experience has been similar, right? Like, you'll see places with like a 3.0 and you'll see it really breaks down to like half ones, half fives, right? It just depends on the day, what kind of service that they get. 1-star review means everyone agrees, right? And the thing about a business having a 1-star review that blows my mind is I used to live in Chicago. And when I lived in Chicago, I didn't know you could just start a Yelp or a Google review for a place you didn't own. So someone had started like a Google review for Cook County Jail. Cook County Jail as a whole had 2 stars. And it's honestly hard to, like, I've read most of them, right? And one of them was 1 star, right? 1 star. And it just said, "The guards are so mean." And then under it, because you know, if you're the business, you can comment under it. So then under it, they were like, "You were in jail." But I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the formerly incarcerated person's side because they didn't refute it. They were just like, "This is what we do here." Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was a 4-star review for Cook County Jail. It's like, I stayed here, wasn't the worst, wasn't the best, but I did it. And that's a very objective person. That's somebody who's like, well, I did my crime, and this is as jails go, it's pretty good. Like I don't want to see the business go under. Let me go ahead. Oh, it's incredible. I remember when I started looking at salons, because I go to salons now. I used to go to barbershops, and trying to make that transition, I was just looking up Google reviews for places, and I got taken on a beautiful journey, because all these places, especially like anybody knows who is like trying out a place for the first time, like when you go to get your hair done, you're really putting your life in somebody else's hands. And that's all of us, whether you're going to a barbershop, salon, whatever. Because I've got bad haircuts before. I've got haircuts that left me looking like... They just left me looking like I don't know how to take care of myself, and now I gotta wait till my hair grow back a little bit to look even again, I went to the website of this salon, and I saw all the like beautiful designs of the braids that they do, the variety that they do and everything. So then I went to the bottom of the website, and it says, we're currently not taking clients, right? Which happens sometimes. But I went to their Google just to check if maybe they don't update the website, because I was like, let me call, because maybe something's changed, right? When I get to their Google profile, I just go ahead and I'm like, let me look at the reviews just to check, because all this stuff is beautiful in the picture, but these could be Google images. So I'm reading lots of 5 stars, lots of 4 stars. Overall, they have a 4.7 as a business. So I'm like, they're crushing it, right? I do see a 1-star review, and I'm like, well, let me. Because you don't want to count out a 1-star reviews experience, because that means that whatever happened, as long as they're not lying, whatever happened, happened. And it could happen to you, right? So I'm reading it, and it's like, staff was so rude. I booked an appointment. They were trying to act like they didn't know who I was, and they sent me out, right? And I was like, wow, that seems weird. Because the business can comment underneath their comment. The business said, Chandra, you need help. Chandra, you need help. You tried to fool us and showed up as if you had an appointment, even though it says on our website we are not currently taking clients. You said that you talked to someone that we don't employ about an appointment, and then sat in the chair demanding. I was like, fair enough, wow. That's amazing. I guess you can't trust every 1-star review, but wow. I tried to go, and they were not taking clients. Like I had a very similar experience to Chandra. I was just like, it's like, I don't know, what have I tried? I don't know, maybe I could be slick. And they were like, sir. When you travel a lot, there are things that happen that are sometimes simply unfair. And I mean past the regular stuff, past a delayed flight or anything. Years ago, I had a flight to Boulder, and I was coming from Chicago, and I had a window seat, and the man next to me was eating a whole rotisserie chicken. And when I say whole rotisserie chicken, I want you to understand, when you go to the grocery store and you see with the bubble, it was that. This wasn't just some chicken. It was a whole chicken. And there's nothing like when you meet somebody and they start out nice and then they betray you, right? Because we had a very cordial conversation initially, a very I'm not crazy conversation, then he switched up on me, right? They say that not all heroes wear capes. And apparently not all terrorists have bombs, because the way it started is basically my man was in the middle seat, and you always have to be nice to the person in the middle seat, because if they're in the middle seat, their life is not going well right now, okay? Because this is the thing with the middle seat that people disregard. Whatever happened to you while you traveling also happened to them, right? Maybe you were delayed. Maybe your flight got canceled. Maybe you had to spend the night in the airport. All that happened to them too, and they're in the middle seat. So they're still having a worse day than you can imagine, right? And so I'm always nice to the person in the middle seat. So, you know, we both sit down and everything, and then we look at each other, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? I feel like I'm a pretty cordial person, very approachable and everything. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'd love to strike up a conversation and stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm great. And in retrospect, he was great because he knew what he was about to do. And then we just started chatting, right? He was like, why are you flying the boat? I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a show. Why are you flying the boat? He's like, oh, I'm going on business. I was like, he must love his business. Like, well, little did I know he was going to do the devil's business, right? And so we are barely diagonal. We're basically one wheel off the ground when he decides it's his time to shine, right? And so this man reaches under the seat. He kept it under the seat because he wanted people to think it was a carry-on, right? So he pulled this chicken from under the seat. I had no idea what it was because it was just in a bag, right? So he pulls this from under the seat, and he really pulled it because I guess it got stuck, so he really pulled it, right? And then he pulls up and he lifts it. And this man is bigger than me. And anytime somebody is bigger than me and making me nervous, I go through scenarios in my head of what could happen next, right? So then he pulls this bag up and he lifts the bag. Now the bag the chicken was hot, right? So the chicken was hot, so there'd been some condensation around the actual shell of the rotisserie chicken. So the bag was clinging to the chicken, so I can't tell what it is. All I know is it's heavy and wet, right? So I look over at the bag, and it's got a little bit of steam coming out of it, and I'm like, that's why he was nice to everybody, because he got a bomb, right? And so then he grabs it from the bottom and starts peeling the bag off of the chicken, and I'm like, oh, okay. I wish it was a bomb. I think a bomb would have been easier for me to manage right now. This is actually going to be more upsetting than a bomb. I can already tell, right? And so this is my other thing, too. How did this man get this past TSA? Because there's an organization specifically designed to stop this sort of thing from happening. How did he get this on? Because they took my water. I can't have my water, but apparently he can have 12 ounces of chicken juice. So then he holding it up, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, even when we were just chatting and stuff like that, I thought he smelled like chicken when I met him. And I felt crazy because I was like, who just smells this much like chicken? I've never been around anybody before who and when I say he smelled like chicken, he smelled like he was the chicken, right? Like he smelled like he had just danced out the oven just now, right? Like he had chicken cologne, right? And so then he's got the bag, and usually I'm a very like live and let live type person, right? Just let everybody do their thing as long as it's not harming anybody, right? And I don't like when things are like
exclusion, just for the sake of being exclusive, just for the sake of other people not being able to have it, right? Like we made this price so some people can't come. We made this price and what. But I will say, I do like, we need to keep planes plane prices, because when planes are bus prices, bus behavior comes to planes. Because when he revealed a whole rotisserie chicken out of this bag, I was like, what in the Greyhound megabus is happening right now? This is not behavior for the air, right? And so then he lays the chicken down on the tray table, and I've never seen this before, because I guess it was a big enough chicken that the tray table actually had some give to it. And I've taken naps on the tray table and haven't bent it back like that. That's an FAA unregulated amount of chicken. And so and I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I saw the chicken, as soon as I saw him put it on a tray table, I tried to dissociate right there. I was trying to go somewhere else. I was like, ooh, like, I was trying to be anywhere else but right here, because I even put on my noise canceling headphones and just tried to pick a movie and just not be a part of what was happening right now, right? But okay, I've got them on, right? I picked the movie, and I am trying to watch Moana, okay? But all I can hear is the sound of him eating chicken. Babies can't get in here. Like, and when I tell you, this is how you can tell it was like premeditated too, because this chicken was still very, very hot, which means he got it right before the flight. That means he went to Albertsons and got a full rotisserie chicken, then was like, well, I have a flight. I don't think that's what happened. I think actually he was on his way to the airport, and he was like, I'm making good time. I got that pre-check. Let me make a stop by Albertsons on the way, pick up a snack, right? And so this man does not have a fork, because a fork would have got him caught, right? He just has the chicken on the tray table, and he is eating it with his hands like he is Henry VIII. And we are at a royal banquet dinner where the queen just gave birth, right? He really ripping into the chicken while picking his movie, right? Just fingers, 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 right? And so in my head, I'm like, what do I do? Because somehow this isn't illegal. See, that's a problem with our lawmakers, right? Our lawmakers write the laws after stuff happened. They're not thinking ahead to things that should never happen and writing a law for that. And likewise, with the airlines, they don't come up with the rules ahead of time. They wait for crazy stuff to happen, then they change the rules. But they should have sent it in your ticket, in your confirmation email for your ticket. They should have been like, hey, also, please don't bring any chicken from home, all right? We have all the chicken you need. The airport got you, okay? Because I don't remember this exactly, and maybe I'm not being fair, but I'm pretty sure the airport we were leaving from had a Popeyes. So he had access to chicken, but he wanted his own chicken, right? He was like, oh, they do it all apart and stuff. Let me get the whole thing. And so then I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so all right. I'm not proud of it. And I want to be clear, I didn't do this right away, right? Because even when he pulled out chicken, put it on the tray table, we are here. Like, he acted quickly. But by the time I did what I did, he had got down to the bone, okay? So he had a little bit of breast, a little bit of wing, a little bit of thigh. He had a good amount of his chicken. It looked like a crow had got to it by the time I did what I did, okay? But basically, I was like, I can't do this. I can hear it. I can't stop hearing it, right? And so I just pretended to fall asleep, right? waited a little while, even gave a couple. Because if you do the pig snores, people think it's a deep sleep, right? And so I pretended to sleep. And like, this is my thing. You probably experienced this. When you have somebody, maybe you're dating somebody and they sleep over for the first time and you see what type of sleeper they are, right? Because some people are like little squealers. Some people, some people are snorers, like, right? Some people are thrashers. I've been thrashed many times in my life. Actually, it is weird. You ever be sitting there laid up with your partner and then they thrash you and you're like, was weird that your fist was closed. Like, it's... But anyway, I'm pretending to sleep, right? I even hit him with the right, and then just after a while, I wait a little longer, and then I'm like, and then and I had to like open one eye a little bit to make sure I really got the chicken, right? Because I didn't want to miss, because you're gonna get another chance, right? Like, if you miss that first time, he start protecting the chicken and everything. So, you know, I opened my eye a little bit and I cleaned that chicken. Like, I Tiger Woods that chicken. So then the chicken flies off the tray table across the man in the aisle seat, right? I forgot to mention, there was someone else who witnessed this entire thing. I'm actually very interested in what his perspective was, because he didn't have headphones on, so he heard him eating the chicken in his ear. And I'm telling you right now, if it was bad for me, it was horrible for him, because the sound of a grown man eating a rotisserie chicken with his hands does sound exactly like a dog eating a person. It's just as horrific. The sound will never go away, right? I can hear it right now, right? And so then chicken shoots across him. It hits the tray table not the tray table, the armrest of the other aisle seat, and then it hits the ground, where I think it had some bounce to it because it still was mostly intact. So it was gonna move like a chicken would move, right? Now I gotta keep my eyes closed again because I'm supposed to be asleep for this, right? But I do hear a muffled scream through my headphones, and I don't know what it was because, once again, my eyes are closed. So I don't know. This is what I think happened. We were, as a plane, we were making a little bit of a turn. We were at a little bit of an angle, right? So we weren't still ascending, but we were like dipped a little bit like this. So I think that the chicken hit in the aisle, rolled back a little bit, must have rolled into a new person's aisle, right? And so then it rolled into their aisle, and they looked down, and all of a sudden they got their foot in a chicken, right? And that, because it wasn't a scream like, it was a scream like, and that's... And that's, I mean, any one of us would do that. If you were just on a plane and you were minding your own business, all of a sudden your foot was in a chicken with the bones in it. Like, your foot is in it and it's not coming up. It's a shoe now, so it's not coming off, right? We'd all be like, And so then I hear him through my headphones. He's like, what the hell? Like, he screams, what the hell, right? And so then I gotta pretend to wake up. So I'm like, oh, what happened? Right? He's like, dude, you knocked over my whole meal, right? He's like yelling. I'm like, oh no, did I? I'm sorry. Can I get you another one? He's like, no, that's the only one I had. I was like, oh, can I buy you something else? He's like, no, I don't want anything. Just watch the. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. And then I did just have to sit next to that dude on the plane for the rest of the trip. I've never had anyone shoot me dirtier looks than this. He was just looking at me the rest of the flight like, I wish I had a bomb. We're really in it now, you know? We're really in it now. We have Kamala running, right? Yeah. You want to know the wildest thing about Kamala running is I saw her first like 2 campaign events, right? And just to have somebody talking regular. Like truly just talking regular. I was like, she might as well have been breakdancing. The way she went up there and said thank you and was remembering names and stuff, she might as well have been hitting that. Like, yeah, it's wild. You know, because some people say that they don't see Kamala as president, but I see Kamala as president because I thought she already was president, right? And what I mean is, when Biden dropped out, I got a notification on my phone, and the notification on my phone was from a news outlet who worded the news very poorly in the headline, because I was at home and all I saw was Biden's gone, Kamala's in. And gone is you gotta use gone very carefully when you talk about Joe Biden. You can't just be out here saying gone willy-nilly, right? And so when they said gone, I was like, oh, that was the COVID he got. Like he got the real one then. If he gone, oh no. And then I realized that he had actually stepped away. He had dropped out, and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" Because like this is the thing that now that he's out of the race, I do think it's very important to have an honest conversation about Joe Biden, about his presidency, right? Because this is the thing that people forget about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a granddaddy, okay? So for a president, he seemed slow. He seemed a bit weak and frail. For a granddaddy, he was killing it. All right? Like, really take a step back for a second and think about the granddad. Think about your granddaddy, right? What's on the agenda in a day for your granddaddy? Really be fair. Really be honest with yourself. What do you expect your granddaddy to do in a day? First thing on the docket is to wake up, hopefully. Second, have some jam. Tell some stories. Yeah, I mean, like... watch some Westerns, and then there's some naps to get got, right?
You don't fly your granddaddy on 13-hour flights and then make him talk to a whole country and then be like, he doesn't seem up to the job. Like, because Biden was busy just being a granddaddy. Everyone loves to forget that. We went to Biden as a granddaddy, and we were like, hey, we need you to run. And then he was like, are you sure? And we were like, yeah, we think you're the only one that can do it. Please run. And then he ran, and then he won. And then for 3.5 years, nobody did any homework. Nobody did any building up of any other candidates. Nobody did any real research into who was next up. So then, election time comes along. They're like, hey, we need you again. And he was like, I'm more granddaddy now than I was before. They were like, please, Joe, come on, Because that's one thing that I don't know. I look at it and I think that both we and history should remember Biden for doing an incredibly patriotic and courageous thing. That stepping aside is a big deal, right? And it's something that I hope he always knows that we appreciate. For better or for worse, we appreciate it because, some people wouldn't have done that. Some people would have let their ego get in the way. Some people, because this man told the world, he met with world leaders and told them, guys, I'm running, I'm going to win, it's going to be fine. And then he had to drop out, right? Dropped out on a Sunday in a tweet. On a Sunday with a tweet with COVID. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe I'm not being fair and that's okay, but I was furious at Biden when he got COVID. How dare you get COVID the same week Trump got shot at? Trump got shot at, blood and stuff, and then Biden over here, I was furious. But I really want us, and I think that it's something that I wish more leaders did because in a weird way, it did feel for a second like they actually listened. Because we had been saying, we were like, guys, I don't feel great. And then something happened. That almost never happens. This is America. And I think there's like this weird asterisk on his political career and on his legacy now, because then people are like, where does he go from here? He's still president for like 6 months. And we're already like, where does he go from here? Oh, that's so sad. I don't think it's sad at all. I think that Biden has a chance to stamp his legacy now. This dude he's done. He said he's done. He's not coming back. He's not running for anything else. He's towards his twilight years and everything. Like this is it. So he has the chance to do what every politician ever promises that they're gonna do. You gotta remember, when people run for the first time, they're talking all that good stuff, right? When people run for the first time, I'm gonna do this, I don't care, I'm not taking anybody's money, I'm gonna do this, and then they get in and then they get got, right? Then all of a sudden they're talking like an assistant manager zombie. They're like, well, we have to really look at the votes. What did they do to you? But Biden doesn't have that. He hasn't to worry about a second term. He doesn't have to worry about next position. This dude could have the most radical presidency for the rest of the time that he's in office. He has months left to exact some of the craziest change you can imagine, because he's never coming back. This is it. This is what people wish our politicians had, right? Because you don't know who somebody is until they put in their 2 weeks. When somebody put those 2 weeks in and they're still professional and you're like, oh, okay, they really a good worker, right? Most people put those 2 weeks in and they're like, 2 weeks, these nuts. Dude, Biden right now has the power to just go ahead and just drop executive orders like mixtapes. This dude could just straight up say, hey, everybody gets free lunch and come and kill me. Right? Free school lunch for kids. Everybody get maternity leave. How about that? You can fight me in court. I won't be there. You can fight me in court. Right? And then you look at, you look at Kamala and what her campaign's going to be like and what the opposition against her is going to be like. And it's already started in some sense, but you can tell that people don't really know how to attack her. Not exactly, right? Like they're going to try the regular stuff, like the racist stuff and all this. She'll get some sexism. Don't worry, she'll get it. She'll get some sexism. But like really attacks, like things that make you go, ooh, I don't know about Kamala, right? They don't know. And you can tell they don't know because okay. I saw this, the one attack I saw against Kamala, this is wild. Okay, let me see. All right. No, I'm just looking around because I feel like, look, I think maybe only the black people will get it first, but I'm gonna bring everybody along, right? Because then basically there was an attack on Kamala where they were like, Kamala Harris's great granddaddy was an Irish slave owner that went to London to oppose abolition. And then every black person I know was like, yeah. Sorta checks out. There's a reason it's her great granddaddy and her great grandma wasn't mentioned. And if you know, you know, right? That's what's so crazy to me is that I'm not saying Kamala's the perfect candidate at all. And I, she said herself she's gonna have to earn and win your vote and everything, and she plans to do that. But I will say the last time somebody had to go back to the 1800s to attack a candidate was maybe never. That's so crazy. Her great. Yeah. But then you should ask some more questions like, why is that? And then, oh. You know what I mean? Because the only people that caught it are the people who really understand slavery. And that's the thing that's so crazy, is that Republicans are trying so hard to attack Kamala, they may accidentally teach like I thought you burned all the critical race theory books.
Hey friends, I was actually off the road last weekend, so we're still dropping an unreleased set, but stay tuned afterwards because I'm going to be answering some of your questions from the internet. And if you have other questions that I don't get to, you can drop them in the comments. And if you have any questions at all, just keep being cool to each other. See you in a bit.
I've also been obsessing over that lady on TikTok who was digging in her yard and found that rug. Like, in case you didn't see this, there's a woman that was on TikTok, right? And this will be important later, but she's white, all right? And basically, she was making TikToks for like her fans and her friends and stuff. And in one of her TikToks, she comes onto the TikTok and she's like, y'all, I think my house is haunted. Okay? And then she starts giving her reason, and she does a little tour of her office where all these things are moved that aren't supposed to be moved. She's like, I'm the only one that comes in here, and this is here, and it's usually up here, and then this is moved over here. And then when I opened my laptop, the laptop was like cracked from the inside. Like it just, and you could see it. It was like corrupt, like it looked like ink had been spilled. It was so shattered on the inside, right? And she was like, I don't know. I think I have a ghost. And in my head, I'm watching this and I'm just sort of pulling from life experience. I'm just kind of like, you ain't ever been robbed before? Like, and so then, you know, another TikTok she makes after that is she's digging in her yard. I think they're moving a fence or something. And then they hit something. And then they look at what they hit. And it's like this rug that's been buried underground, right? And it's a thick rug too. And then she's like, making a TikTok being like, isn't this weird? And I was like, that's a body. That's clearly a body, okay? And then this is the thing. When it comes to every person has different speeds that they operate at, right? You catch them on one day, they might react to you a certain way, another day a certain way. But some people do have like defaults, right? So one thing that's happened in the last like 4 years especially is that anytime a white woman's talking, we jump to Karen pretty quick, right? Like, there's Karens out there, but then sometimes someone will just have a menu and be like, does this one have gluten? And we're like, Karen! Like, it's appropriate when it's appropriate, it's not appropriate when it's not appropriate, right? But for everything, there is its opposite, okay? And I think that for us, we do need to start talking about the complete opposite, because we all know this person. We all know the white woman who doesn't want to make a big deal out of anything. We've all met this person. She could literally be on fire. And she's like, y'all, I'm just warm. Like, no. You are in danger, Bethany. Let us help you. You know what I mean? Like, she could call you. She could call you in the middle of a robbery. She's at the bodega. It's getting robbed right now. And she calling you being like, oh, no, I don't want to bother. Just if you get around to dialing those, like, 3 numbers, it would be really helpful. And this is who we have on our hands in this situation, because I'm not the only one, right? I see the thing and I'm like, that's a body. And then everyone else in the comments is like, girl, that's a body. And this is the thing about internet comments in general, right? At best, almost all the time, random comments on the internet are at least not helpful. They're at least not doing anything for you when you read them, or when you posted them, they're not actually good feedback. I mean, like, it happens a lot, especially because the internet's just out for everybody, you know? Especially on a place like TikTok. People stumble onto your stuff and then they just comment on it, whatever they think. It might have nothing to do with what you're talking about, you know? Like, as an example, years ago, I bought some nunchucks. And I was watching a tutorial on how to nunchuck. And the dude's tutorial was good. He wasn't hitting himself at all. He knew exactly what he was doing, right? But then I went down to the comments to see if it was as helpful to other people as it was to me. And none of the comments had anything to do with nunchuck. The top comment was like, support the troops. And it's like, sure, but how'd you get that from this? So for all of her comments to be like, girl, that's a body, I think you should listen. You know? She made another TikTok where she was like, another really weird thing that happened was that my stepson was like going to bed and he went to plug in his phone. And when he woke up in the morning, instead of the phone being on 100%, it was on 3%. And you know how ghosts can suck up energy? I'm like, no, we're past this. We're past this. It's a body. It's a body. And once again, she was doing that white woman thing, trying to not make a big deal because, guys, I don't think it's a body. She says, I don't think that it's a body. I'm like, you think it's a ghost? It being a body helps your thing too. Every ghost used to have a body. Why are you acting like we're the dumb ones? And so then she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, y'all, I called the police. And it's funny because she describes like calling the police and stuff. And when she called the police and told them the situation, I was digging in my yard and I was trying to move this fence. I hit the rug, whatever, and the rug's very thick. We can't just, because that's the other thing. She can't just pull it up. It's so heavy that it's like, it's down there. She would have to dig more to even expose more rug to even try to pull it up. And she tells the police that, and the police are like, that's not like a body. And so the police come out, right? And I am not a cop. I don't know how police work actually works. I don't know what procedure is or anything. All I know is what I saw in the video, because she was also making a TikTok out of the police coming and checking out the hole. And the police, when they got there, I don't know what exactly they were doing, but they were doing that thing where, you know, like when they have their hands in their vest? And so there was one cop that walked up and he was like, that might be a body. So police look it over, because cops came twice, right? Police look it over. Then part is fuzzy. I don't know what actually happened linking these two things. I don't know if the police said this to her before they left or if they called later and told her this, but basically they were like, look, it's a hole. I get that you're invested and that it's the rug, but we don't have the resources to just like do some big dig in your backyard for a case that's like not an open case or anything. There's not like some missing person or something. So we just, if you want to dig, if you want to dig and then call us if you find something, you can, but like, we're not gonna. And I mean, look, in this case, it was just the rug. It's not like a foot was hanging out or something, you know what I mean? And so then that was sort of that. And so she makes another TikTok where she talks to people and she's like, hey, listen, I know that y'all are all invested. I know that this is weird, but I don't have the money to just dig up my whole backyard just to try to find out what this is. Because in the case that it's nothing, I dug up my whole backyard and then I have to pay to, because it was also like going in the direction of her fire pit too, which means she would have had to pull up all that stuff. So she was like, I don't know. I don't know where this sort of leaves us, right? And she makes another TikTok not too long after that. Because what has happened through social is that we're all talking. We're all talking, we're all, like, listening's a strong word, but we're all talking. All right? But you gain the interest and you can intrigue people from all over the world, right? And so as people are getting more and more invested in this thing, she makes another TikTok a little while later, where basically someone was watching her last TikTok about how, yeah, she didn't have the money to just dig up her whole yard and everything. And so then they messaged her and they were like, hey, I own a construction company. I'll dig. I will not be left on a cliffhanger, all right? Digging is what I do. And so then, the next TikTok is her basically being like, hey, this person with this construction company said that they would come over and dig and help me figure it out and everything. So go ahead and tune back in. 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go live and we'll find out together. This is what's really jarring about that, right? Is that TV used to be TV. You used to get your entertainment from TV, and TV was a thing. You used to buy the TV and know that all the TV would happen on TV. But now, slowly, over time, we're TV. Whether we mean to be or not. There's plenty of people who have realized they were TV in real time and been like, I messed up. I did not want to be TV today. TV used to, we're spoiled. We're used to 24-hour news. We're used to 24-hour programming, even pay programming. When a channel runs out of TV ideas, they're like, well, we'll let this person try to sell you something for 3 hours. You know what I mean? TV used to just have a few channels, too. TV used to have like 5 channels. And they didn't even have a lot of ideas. The TV would be like, guys, we're done. TV, you would have your TV on, but TV would be off. Because they just didn't have any more programs. They were like, you know what it is. We'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Go to bed. What are you doing up? Why are you still up right now? You have a problem. You need to see somebody, a doctor maybe. You probably have insomnia because you have left this TV on all night knowing that the Dick Cavett show only goes so late. And I didn't know about any of this. My grandpa was telling me, you know what I mean? But he was like, yeah, you used to, that used to be how you knew you had a sleeping problem. And now, she's opened herself up to the fact that, this incident has made her TV. She even said, tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I was like, you have commercials too? Damn. And then soon after that, she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, all right. So I got a call, construction company calls, but I got another call from homicide. And a part of me was like, duh, it's a body. But she's like, I got a call from homicide that basically they said that they don't know who the last 2 officers were communicating with because it wasn't them. They must have talked to somebody else who told them to tell me what they told me. Homicide heard about the case and they were like, we would very much like to check. That's like our whole job, to check if that's a body. And so we're gonna come tomorrow and they basically tell her, they're like, hey, if we find something, this will turn your house upside down. Are you prepared for that? And she was like, yeah, I want to get to the bottom of this thing. It's been on my mind. And, we're not just curious. It's like, this could potentially be terrifying, And so they're like, okay. And if we don't find anything, then you're free to let the construction company dig and just see, get to the bottom of what maybe is dinosaur bones. Who knows, right? So the next day comes, and she says in the TikTok, she's like, look, so still tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I don't know what you're going to be watching. So sure enough, homicide comes. They bring the detectives. They also bring the cadaver dogs, right? And both cadaver dogs signal at the spot in the rug, right? And they even did in different ways, because I don't really know. I don't know much about cadaver dogs. All I know is that the first dog, he seemed a bit junior. Do you know what I mean? That first dog was just a little too happy-go-lucky. You know what I mean? Like he really showed up and was like, oh, what a beautiful day. It's wonderful just be in a yard and be able to run around, stretch your legs, and hang out with your friends and stuff. Oh! Y'all, this is just my opinion. I think that's a body. Second dog comes out, must have been more senior dog. They must bring two just to make triple sure, you know what I mean? Because second dog comes out much calmer, at least to me. Had more of a dignified gait to his walk. Walking around. Yep, that's a body. Ooh, y'all, come get me. That's a body. And it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to be like a police dog because you don't know you have a job. Think about a police dog, just a dog. They think they're chilling. They think their life is normal. They only have like wild reactions once in a while, you know? Like I wonder what it would be like to take a police dog to like just the dog park. Have him converse with other dogs and stuff. Running around. That house dog is like, hey, how you doing? Looking good. You know? I love a pup in uniform. Oh, this? Oh, yeah. I wear it all the time. You come to this park often? Oh, yeah, every day. Every day, me and my pal come here, and then, we lets me run around, and then we walk home, and then he feeds me treats, and I take a nap, and the police dog's like, nap? What's that? Oh, when you just get tired and you fall asleep whenever you want. And it's like, okay, must be nice. You said your owner gives you treats. What kind of treats? House dog's like, oh, all the treats. It's incredible. I get like the beef treats and the chicken treats. I go crazy for the tuna treats. I try to play it cool, but I can't. They're too good. Sometimes I'll play hard to get, but then I'm a sucker for the tuna treats. Do you get treats? And police dog's like, yeah, I get treats all the time. What kind of treats do you get? Police dog's like, mostly cocaine. Because I'm one of the dogs that they have sniff for the cocaine, and so I'm running all in the house checking for the cocaine. I usually get there first, and so sometimes I take a little off the top, you know what I mean? A couple extra sniffs. It's gotta be wild. It's gotta be wild to think as a police dog, you just going for a walk. They're like, smell this. Oh, okay. See what else smells like this out here. You're like, oh, all right. You just on nice stride, running with your pal, and then out of nowhere you're like, something over here smells like, oh my gosh, that's a body. So both the cadaver dogs signal, right? And when they signal, she's like, oh my gosh, she's really taking it back. And I think that's also the first time that this becomes like real, because I think, I can't say what was going on in her head, but I can imagine that like at the time you're just kind of going through the motions and having your own little true crime thing. But then when there's really something there and it becomes real, like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrifying. And then the police even come over and they're like, hey, you might want to stop recording. And so she makes another TikTok hours later where she's like, hey, I'm sorry I left y'all on cliffhanger. Police were like, hey, maybe you want to stop recording. So I stopped recording and everything. But yeah, there's just people all over my house and stuff. And it was just like, I think it was all hitting her at once. And it must have been overwhelming, And she's even saying to the camera, she's like, and the police, they appreciate the fact that I'm the one that called them and stuff like that. So it's not like they're looking at me or anything. I was like, nope. Call a lawyer. 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 Call a lawyer now. Put the phone down and call a lawyer. Don't talk to me. Call a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Stop talking to me. Call a lawyer. That's a lot to assume. That's a lot to assume. Hey, guys, I just found this body. Like, I have nothing to do with it. It's got to be tough. Like, I really did try to put myself in her shoes. It's got to be horrific to find something like that, what it might be, all that stuff. I think about what any of us might do. You know what I mean? Maybe not make a TikTok about it, but like what any of us might do. Like, I think about what I would do. I'm a homeowner. I'm moving my fence, and then hit this rug. A rug, by the way, that had a tree planted on top of it. I think about what I would do, right? As Josh, and even more importantly, maybe as like a black dude in America. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd be like, yeah. I didn't kill him. So then they like properly excavate and they do a whole dig, and it turns out it's not a body. Isn't it weird to be disappointed? Isn't it kind of weird to be disappointed that somebody's not dead? It's not a body at all. It was a rug that had a tree planted over it that was buried, which, I'm not gonna lie, is way weirder. That's so much more jarring now. There's so many more questions I have now. We understand, it's not right, but we understand how people get got. Like, we kind of, like, there's a part of you, maybe you're in the mob or something like that, but this thing is way weirder. That means that your house was previously owned by a freak. That just means that there was someone that owned your house that was burying rugs and planting trees on top. What else were they doing? Licking banisters? What goes through the mind of somebody who buried? What kind of witchcraft is that? I want answers. She gonna be retiling her roof years from now, and there's gonna be a piece of bologna under every tile. What kind of cartoon house is this?
I work at Daily Show Monday through Thursday, and then we go on the road Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. And so I know that it's a lot, but it's also everything I've been trying to do this entire time. Like, these are all the things that I've ever wanted to be doing, and they just happen to be happening at once. Another thing that really gives me energy, I guess, is the people that I'm around. I get to be around the coolest people that I've ever worked with at Daily Show, that are constantly, like, whether it's hyping you up or you're able to bounce ideas off of them, and their enthusiasm and the way that they bring, like, their specific talents to the show always make me excited to be a part of it. And then the rest is just doing stand-up on the road, which is just meeting all of you and, doing the meet and greets when we can and stuff. And those are real opportunities to get a second to chat, even if it is just a moment where, I understand, especially a late show, people are tired and they want to take the picture and go home and stuff. I'm never like thinking about it some type of way. I guess I'm more just so excited to meet the people who enjoy what I'm doing, because sometimes you are creating these things online and it's very easy to see a number of likes or a little ticker go up. And while those things carry their own sort of excitement of like, oh, that's cool that people are watching. It's not until you meet the people that are watching that you get a real sense of what's going on. And so I don't know, if I'm being honest, if I've thought about balance yet or anything. I sneak in my naps when I can, and one day I will find time to sleep. But sometimes I will say I don't realize I'm asleep. I have definitely woken up and not been sure when I was sleeping. So I guess I get enough sleep.
How do you take care of your mental health?
I think I do lots of stuff. To me, I think you're constantly bombarded all the time with stimulus and with media, and I think that even though most of it is negative, the positive stuff there, whenever you open yourself up to it or whenever you focus on it, is just as overwhelming sometimes. There are a lot of people out there talking about the good things happening in the world. And if you engage with that stuff as much as you engage with like mainstream news and being up to date on the latest horrible thing that's happening in every country, I think you can find the balance that's actually happening. Because it's true, all these things are happening at the same time. And I don't know, I think that centers me sometimes, that like as many bad things as there are that are happening, there's so many instances of us seeing like the good in people and the good in the world and stuff. And so that helps me take care of myself. I have people that I will sometimes message if I'm having a rough time, for any number of reasons. Just having those people really help. I think that therapy as well. Therapy, depending on your version of it and what you found helps you the most, I guess depends on how often you lean on it. And so yeah, I think therapy, I think engaging in as much positive media as I can, and I think looking up specifically for news stories where something good is happening help me take care of myself.
Why are your tickets $400?
They are not. They're not. I cannot say this enough how much they are not. And because of how social works as well, no matter how many times you post that they're not, it may not reach the people who saw the thing. You know what I mean? Like we're all just missing each other because they're not at all. One of the reasons that you might see $400 tickets to my show are resellers. So I am trying to make sure everybody can come to the show. I'm trying to make sure that all the tickets are affordable, right? But if someone buys up a bunch of tickets and then they go to the secondary market and they wait until the show is sold out and then they try to sell it to people who want to come to the show but missed it, they're going to charge whatever they think they can get, right? So while it's 400 in this economy, $400. I am not asking that of anybody. $400 is too much money. Okay. I can't sing. Yeah, I mean, like we're not talking about tickets to like somebody who can do backflips or something like that. Resellers are charging these astronomical prices, which is why I tell people to join my email list. If you join my email list, I will let you know when I add shows. I'll also let you know when shows are happening. You'll also get access to pre-sale in some of the markets because we try to email everyone out. There's a whole thing that I'm learning about how like venue have pre-sale tickets and days, and everybody has a certain amount of tickets that they're allowed and stuff like that. But as soon as we can go to you with the ticket, we try to go straight to you. So that way the email is coming from me and then you can get the ticket at its intended price, and we completely cut resellers out of it. Sometimes I even lose words for how best to describe how bad of a thing this reselling is, because it cheats you out of money and it cheats a lot of people out of an experience, you know? Because let's just, for the sake of argument, say the reseller buys my ticket and they're charging $2,000. And then people are like, Josh, love you, nice little quips, nice little witty jokes online, but 2,000, no, no, no. Now, somebody who was willing to pay the like $35, $45 that I was charging for the show doesn't get to come. And then this reseller is blocking people from having a good time at the show, you know? So my tickets are not $400. If you see that, you know, not only don't you buy it, but also feel free to warn other people, hey, this thing is not real, you know? So hopefully I've spoken about it well. Hopefully.
Where is your hour-long Netflix special?
It doesn't exist, but I think maybe it could one day. We'll see. The reason I do stand-up is to connect with the people that I'm doing stand-up for. And that's been happening through social, through YouTube, through like live performance as well. So I feel like the connection is there, and it's getting stronger, and it's growing. And so I don't concern myself as much with like, oh, when are we going to get this thing, or can we get this person on the phone or something? Because to me, all things happen as they're supposed to in the right time. And so if there is a day that comes that I have an hour-long Netflix special, then the day that that comes will be the day that it comes out. Until then, I'm having a great time posting and writing as much as I can, and just sort of putting that stuff out there.
Can you go deeper into your writing/performing process?
Yeah, so I guess I don't know. I could talk about it all day. So I'll try to give like some bullet points. I think when you're writing about anything, in my experience, I think taking the things that you find funny about them and the things that you find interesting about them and believing in them are going to be ways that you connect people to the thing it is that you're talking about. Not everything is interesting, and maybe everything can't be made interesting by a specific person. But I think if there's any like gold that you actually find in something, someone else will connect with that. I think the missing connective tissue sometimes is belief in the thing that you're talking about, and it's in a full understanding of what you're trying to say. And so whenever I'm writing anything, I'm trying to make sure that I'm fully distilling the idea down enough that if you don't know me, and if you don't know what I'm like, and if you've maybe even never watched stand-up before, you'll still get what I'm trying to say. And I think that is one of the main things I look for in what I'm talking about and how long I want to talk about it. And then I think that sort of all of life informs other pieces of it. So if I may be talking about one thing that has nothing to do with any of the other topics I bring up in my mind while well, let me see, now I'm rambling. Hold on. If you choose a topic to talk about, right, it may seem incredibly isolated. It may seem like one of its kind. But because of how long humans have been around, and because we have cyclical behavior, it's not. So no matter what the thing is, there's something like it that has happened before, even if it's only in spirit. And so I think that as soon as you pick something to talk about, you can find things that are similar to that thing, that maybe someone might not understand thing A that you're talking about, but they've experienced thing B. And if thing B is a universal enough experience and you link it back to A, then I think that you can in turn at least give people the option of seeing what you're trying to say. And that's just one way to do it. I think that the other way is like take the thing that is your topic that's most important to you and breaking it down on every level. At some point with those layers, people will start to see what you mean. Whether or not they agree is like completely up to them. And luckily for stand-up, you don't really need anyone to agree with you. You just need them to be enjoying what you're saying and find it funny. Some things that we find funny are because of agreement, and some things that we find funny is because of the absurdity of it and how much we disagree. And so I think that in those ways, you don't really need to have the way a lawyer does an iron tight argument. You more just need to have all of your points built out and know exactly what you're trying to convey. And then that will be the link between you and the people that you're sharing with. I think that, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to seeing you on the road when I come to your city. Make sure to join the email list. It's at joshjohnsoncomedy.com. And I look forward to making more videos for you in the future. You know, I really love what I'm doing right now, and you're part of why I love it so much. Yeah. Till next week. So when I swing my legs, are you getting that? No. Oh, you're not? Okay. That would be my undoing, because they are nowhere near. And it's like, it's hard to take a man seriously when they're swinging like this, because it's a natural thing. Like if they were on the ground, they would be planted enough that it wouldn't be a big deal. But because they're so free, because my knees are really off the edge, there is a dangle that's not only a bit dainty, it's a bit whimsical too. It's not the right vibe to try to be.
The shoes are also Velcro too, so that.
Yeah, okay. These actually aren't my normal shoes. I wore these because I lost my shoes. And so I'm still looking for my real shoes. But then until then, I have these on, and everyone has been looking at me like I need help. I have not encountered anybody in a store or on the street that has seen my shoes and not been, let's just say, extra nice to me. Dangling in Velcro shoes, it's not the look for a grown man. You know what I mean? Like, this is, when I tell you, I'm positive that this is like a walking ick. Yeah, like this is bad. So I was also not happy about it, because I literally asked my girlfriend, "Hey, do you know where my shoes are?" Which is one of the most insane questions you can hit a person with, because your shoes should have been left by you somewhere nearby. But I did not know where my shoes were, and I haven't worn these in maybe a year. I don't even know where they came from. I really don't. Like, maybe I bought them, but I feel like they were a gift, and not just a gift, but like a re-gift. Like, I think they were given to someone my size, and then that person was like, nah, I can't keep these in the house. It's better than not having shoes. I'm grateful to have more than one pair of shoes, but I'm also praying I find my real shoes soon, because, ugh.
The main shoes, they're what, on?
On clouds, yeah.
When are you gonna get an endorsement? You have those on every show, every stage, all over the country.
That's up to OnCloud. I wear them because they're comfortable. But an endorsement would be nice. That would definitely buy some more OnClouds. Yeah, they might as well endorse me. I would just give the money back to them almost immediately in OnClouds.
One thing that is very fun about being in Pittsburgh is your sort of singleness in fandom. The way that you love the Steelers, right? The way that you, yeah. And I saw this story about a woman whose husband sadly passed, and to commemorate him, she kept his Steelers tattoo. I'm glad we're on the same page. Because initially when I saw it, I was like, what? Yeah, no, kept the Steelers tattoo and it's like in a little. And then in the article, she was like, yes, we kept the tattoo. No, we don't think it's weird. And I was like, I figured you didn't think it was weird. Seems like it was your idea. That would be wild if you were sitting there holding the plaque like, I can't believe they let us do this. This is... little odd, right? And look, I don't know. Wow. Like when I saw it, I was like, because also, look, I'm not gonna linger on it too long, but it was a big tattoo, so I don't even know what that is. That back? Is that arm? Is that, you know what I mean? And maybe this is something that the husband would have loved. Maybe he's like, yeah, keep it, put it in the living room, right? I don't know. I also don't know how hauntings work, but I imagine I do imagine having some of my skin means I'm gonna stop by. If anybody ever kept some of my neck, I think I'd be like, we have to have a discussion. Poltergeist or not, I'm coming over, we're talking about it. You know, you already have to be careful in people's houses because you never know who got the urn on the mantle or something like that. I don't know why they don't sell urns with like a lock on it. Every urn I've ever come across just been ready to be opened like a cup of sugar. We gotta start making urns harder to spill. You know what I mean? I've been in people's houses where they got, whether it's like a family member or the pet, they got the urn on like a mantle or a bookshelf, and I'm like, that's a little high. If it falls, they will be everywhere. And it does sort of, I don't know. It does taint the memory a little bit if this urn fall and now you gotta Dyson him up. And then put him back in a new urn with whatever was on the carpet. Just something to think about, baby. I don't, literally, just even McDonald's cups are harder to spill. Just something with a twist lock, something. Because let's be honest, unless you spread the ashes, you never need the ashes. You know? It's not like you hiding something in the ashes and then you're gonna open up the urn, pull out the Glock. Like that'd be a wild home invasion. That'd be a wild, imagine you're, let's say somebody, goodness forbid, but let's say somebody broke in your house or something like that, and then they've got you and the family held hostage, and maybe you did something to them. Maybe you're a healthcare CEO, right? And so then they got you tied up with your family and everything, and it's like, look, I'm sorry, all right? And they're like, sorry is not enough, you about to go. It's like, okay.
All right, I get that. But okay, look. A long time ago, my wife passed, and I always said that, like, whenever I go, I'd like to go with her, and she's right there. Intruder gonna be like, over there? Yeah, she's on the fourth shelf. Fourth shelf next to Great Expectations. If I could just like hold her, I'll just, small kindness. Let me hold her while you bow. You know. The intruder's like, okay, go ahead. Go get her. Thanks, honey. No, it's wild. Cause now that mantle just, it's like in a frame. And I guess they're gonna put it on the wall. That seemed just as precarious as any urn. Imagine you having a house party. And somebody bumped the frame, it fall. Now you getting yelled at, you knocked over daddy. Everybody does things differently, and some people very differently. But once again, I don't know. I don't know if he would have loved this sort of thing, But it'd be crazy to think he might be looking down like, ugh. But in case he loves this sort of thing, and in case he can hear us on 3, I'd love all of you to join me in a Go Steelers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Hopefully that will stop me from being haunted. In my life, I've had a lot of roommates, and it's funny because, like, I don't know, I've talked about this before, but like, roommates is like extra family because you're poor. You don't exactly bunk up with a stranger because things are going well. Every roommate I've ever had has been out of necessity. And you just gotta get used to it. But it's crazy because people, the way that people are roommates is usually a clue into how they lived before, like how they were raised potentially. Maybe they were raised to act differently than they're acting as roommates, and this is them out on their own for the first time, rebelling against all these rules they had at home when they were younger. That's the most charitable way to put it. Like, I think mostly a lot of people are insane. And there's nothing like having like a messy
or lunatic roommate, and then maybe you do become friends though. Maybe you're friends, maybe you're friendly. And then you go visit them at their house and you see that it's pretty much the same. This person is wild through and through. I had a roommate that, there would be some nights where he would sleep in the bathtub. He had a bed, he had a mattress, he had pillows. But he said he would sleep in the bathtub because it felt more normal to him when he would wake up from a night terror. And I was like, I don't know how you find that out. That means this man had night terrors and tried every room before he went tub. And that was a tough roommate to have because, I would go to bed at a regular time, even a little late because, we're young and everything. We're in college, and then I would just know I can't go to the bathroom for the rest of the night. No, I can't. I'm gonna have to hold it until he wakes up. And what would normally be distressing, sleeping peacefully, and then hearing from the bathroom, is only made a relief because then I know, okay, he's up, I can go. A lot of people in America worry about terrorism. This is a top concern for some people, and it just depends, mostly to me at least, on when you were born. And I think that within this understanding of terrorism, there are many different definitions. One definition is someone who stokes fear and anxiety for the purpose of fear and anxiety in their enemies. And there's a lot of talk of terrorism or potential terrorism. People get called terrorists all the time, and there are some people that want to equate terrorism to one specific group, one specific religion. But I know that there are terrorists, but the terrorists that I'm talking about, they have no religion. The terrorists that I'm talking about, the terrorists that I believe already live in the U.S., they don't have some God that they call to for their purpose of doing what they do. They just do it to stoke fear and anxiety. I'm talking about people who put an empty box of cereal back on the shelf. These people have no place in our society, all right? I had a roommate. Last straw for me was this man. I had bought some Cheerios, and I bought it for the group. We all eating out here. And so then I go to grab the Cheerios, and I'm excited, I'm hungry. And I go to grab the Cheerios, and there's a certain feeling. Anyone who's been a victim of what I'm talking about will know the feeling. It is a weightlessness of despair. You go to grab what you think might even be a half full box of cereal, and in your attempt to grab it, you put too much energy, too much force into your shoulder, into your arm, into your hand. And when you put that force into your shoulder and your arm and your hand, and you grab the box of cereal and you go to lift it up, you hit the top of the cabinet. Because there's nothing in there. And oh, not only is there nothing in there, what's been left is crumbs. And the sound of crumbs is the jingle bells of poverty, all right? Ooh, I've never felt poorer than when I hear crumbs. Hearing crumbs is right out of Oliver Twist. Crumbs is what Charles Dickinson wrote all his best work to. I didn't even think I could hear crumbs. Oh, but they have a sound. It's a mix between bread particles bouncing off each other and then a whisper. It's in a moment. It's something that almost can't be identified. And it's the whisper of those crumbs the same way that you could split atoms or you could collide particles and make an entire boom, a bang, a nuclear bomb, and a hydrogen bomb. The banging together of these bread particles makes one singular noise, and it is the universe telling you from a point of almost quantum physics, bouncing the particles off each other, that you're poor. That's the sound of poor. Wouldn't you love to say yum? You'll never say it. You're too poor. These are crumbs. If you've ever, in your life, out of necessity, not out of deliciousness, had to pour crumbs into your mouth, only in the Bible do I imagine this level of thirst for food. You might as well be in the desert. Even if you are in your Pittsburgh apartment, you might as well be in the desert if you are opening your mouth, letting it hang, while an entire bag while a bag of crumbs slides and floats to your mouth. Because the crumbs that are sliding into your mouth from this bag, they have no Christianity. These crumbs are there to embarrass you. They're there to make you look and feel poor while you pour them into your mouth. Maybe that's where we get the word poor from, and maybe that's where we get the other word poor from, because you have to pour these into your mouth while you feel like the poorest person that has ever lived. And the bag is stiff because it's that hard, semi-soft plastic that they only make cereal bags out of. And because of that, it's got a lot of ridges. It's got a lot of things that the crumbs can slide and get caught up on, you know? It's a lot like when you try to get water to a new place and the water is working its way through the canyon, but it doesn't know where to go yet. It's being pushed by the other water. And this gravity that's pulling down the crumbs to your mouth has the crumbs rushing at you from all angles. Even when you try to pinch the bag, you try to pinch the bag to give yourself some dignity. You try to pinch it and straighten it up to make a funnel for your mouth, because this is all you have. Crumbs is all you have. Crumbs is your life. And so you make it as straight as possible. You slide it down. Only when you are making a paper plane do you have this level of intent as you straighten something out. You straighten it out as much as possible, and then you dip it into your mouth, and still the ridges find a way. Because the devil is busy. Oh, the devil is hard at work trying to make you look and feel poor, even if you're alone in the room. You pour the crumbs, they're rushing from all angles, skiing down the plastic to your mouth. But then something happens. You don't know if it's in the middle of the bag or it's at the very edge, because some bags, depending on what cereal you get, have smooth tops and some have ridged tops, okay? That's gonna be important, because if it's a smooth top, the crumbs will slide out. If there's ridges right at the top, that means that the crumbs have one last giddy up before they get to your mouth. And so then not only do they giddy up, but you are looking for the food. You'd at least like to see what you're eating. And so you're looking down the bag, and the crumbs are like, we can go anywhere. We could go in your mouth, we could go up your nose, but we love to go in your eyes. And so then you're standing there with crumbs in your mouth and in your eyes and down your face and down your shirt, because as soon as they got in your eyes, they stung, because crumbs are sharp. You might as well juggle knives over your open eyes. You know what that feels like? To be You know what that feels like, to have to dig Cinnamon Toast Crunch out your eyes? Every cereal sharp. Every cereal is sharp. And so I remember I was a victim of terrorism. And I took my crumbs like a man. But then I confronted my roommate. I said, hey, I know what you did. You know what you did. I don't know why you did it. I feel like I've been very respectful. I feel like we have a good rapport. I don't know why you would engage in such a vicious attack against my Saturday. And he was like, what? I was like, you know what? Because he did know what. Because without me saying anything else, he was like, look. I put it back, but there was some in there. And I said, some crumbs? He's like, no, there was Cheerios in there. And then I thought, okay, maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I have accused the wrong roommate, because I have more than one. And so then I walked to the kitchen with him, because the bag and the box were laying on the ground, because I obviously had to run to the bathroom and wash my eyes out of the very sharp cereal. And at this time, first of all, I need to go back. This is the second time this had happened, all right? And so first time was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then the next time it was Cheerios. That's my mistake. And so then he was like, there was some in there, and then we walk over, and the bag and the box are strewn on the floor like a crime scene. Because I had to drop them immediately. I also got Cheerio in my eye. And I was like, there was nothing. And you know there was nothing, because it was only crumbs. And now the crumbs are in me and on me. And then he's like, no, there was something left. I was like, what left? And he was like, there was one Cheerio. And I was like, now I know. You might as well be Osama bin Laden, because the fact that there was one Cheerio you chose to not eat and leave means you're out of your mind. And then I looked, and sure enough, there was one Cheerio on the ground. One Cheerio. A single Cheerio. Like a British person saying goodbye. Obviously, I didn't kill him. I'm here with you now, but I thought about it. I struggled a lot, growing up, even into like early adulthood with opinion of myself, with like body image and everything. It's very difficult sometimes for any young person to believe, if they don't already believe, that they are lovable or that they are good in just the way that they are. Basically, that they are enough. You're still working on yourself. There's still things you want to do with your life. You got your whole life ahead of you, but there's nothing extra you have to do to be worth anything, And it's a hard thing to convince someone of who doesn't believe it. I wish more people believed it. If you saw yourself the way that the people that love you see you, what a beautiful world that would be, And it's not as if love isn't poured into and on these people, showered with praise when something goes right. Not everyone gets it, but even for the people that do, they still struggle with body image. They still struggle with confidence. And then for the people who should have people that they look up to, maybe not giving them any of that, either being indifferent to them or actively hurting their confidence. Sometimes even when you have those positive forces in your life, you still don't accept it in a way that would help boost your confidence. You're like, she loves me, but that's like my mom. She biased. And I know for me, I spent a ton of time trying to work on myself in different ways. Some things that I actually needed, some things that built me up, and some things that were maybe a little bit unnecessary, I really struggled to look at myself in any positive way until I got really fit. Like in my head, really, really fit. I should look like I saw other guys and I thought I should look like that. I should look like a version of that, at least, And never mind that I'm looking at dudes who have been on their own journey or struggle with their own confidence, or maybe get a little extra help to look the way that they look. I don't know. And I was never trying to be like insanely huge. I joke about being like ripped and real big, but honestly, I don't have the frame for it. Truly, I'm not tall enough to be wide. Yeah, no matter how big my shoulders got, I'd start to just be in the way. Like it looks good in the picture when you're flexing and you've got all the muscles and they're all defined and everything, but then practically in life, it does start to be a problem when you're trying to walk through a door. You don't want to be on a date and see a door and go, uh-oh. How do we handle this? Because the shoulders, the hips, they're all wide and muscular, but that door frame, oof, making all of them standard. I can't believe they're doing this. And then you're holding hands, you get to the door, and you're like, you first. You look like you being a gentleman, Please go ahead. And then she walks through the door with ease, and you now have to figure something out. You're standing on the opposite side of the door, and you're like, oh. Okay. As soon as you strained, you let her know this isn't going to be the life for her. I never wanted to be huge. I just wanted to be very, very fit, you know? And I worked on it with some success, with less success. But even when I started to work out, I realized that wasn't really the issue. Now I was going to the gym and I was eating as much as possible and I was gaining a little bit of weight. Not much. And I was like fighting to keep looking this certain way. And I finally accepted that, like, even if I got there, maybe I wouldn't be happy. And I even discovered that through other people who I knew were there. People who I wanted to look like that were in my life, you know? And they still had all the same problems I did. And I would go to the gym and I'd see people packed in there, fighting to look a certain way so they could feel a certain way. And there is a bit of a cheat code. You could try to work on feeling the way without having to fully change your entire body. You know? You don't have to earn loving yourself through like straining and potentially hurting yourself, you know? Like there's some things that there's some things that go and be lifted in therapy, you know? Like it's just and but I remember I would see these workouts and sometimes you see people get creative. There are a couple machines that are pretty straightforward. You sit down, you want to row, you put your feet here and you pull. And that's the exercise right here. This is just what you do, and you do it for your back. You know, you work a little biceps in there too, and maybe if you're trying to work more of the back, you can lean forward a little, lean back a little with the pull. You know, I saw a guy sit down like normal, and then put his feet in. And I'm not gonna lie, I stopped. I was like, this is about to be awesome. This man, I don't know what muscle it works out. It seems like it just ruins your joints, but he went, Just make sure it's clear. And it looked like it felt like it sounded. This man did 8 sets of 10. And I watched the whole thing. Oh, there was even a time where I went to the gym and, you know, I was working out my legs differently. You know, I was doing some lunges, I was doing some like split squats and everything. Not much weight, but just trying to make sure that I worked out my legs, because there are some people that in all that self-consciousness and all of that wanting to build up for yourself, your body and your image, they still only work on the glamour muscles. They forget the base. They forget their core sometimes, and they definitely forget their legs. And we've been told since we were children that the legs are important. We've been told in many different ways. We've been told by PE teachers. We've been told by coaches. We've been told by parents. We've been told by cartoons. There's an entire cartoon dedicated to people who skip leg day. Johnny Bravo was trying to warn us for our entire childhood how important leg day is. That's not a structure you want. You don't want to have more hair than... So I was working out my legs, and so I'm packed into this gym with a bunch of other people, which is, look, it's very frustrating because this gym was unfortunately affordable. So a lot of people were in there, you know, and I was one of them. And I was hopeful, you know, sometimes they sell memberships all year and they're counting on people not to go. The way the gym structures are built out, it's so that you get all of these people here, but they're signed up, they don't actually show up. And so a gym is able to run fairly efficiently as long as like a tenth of the people who are members show up at a time. If everybody showed up that was a member of the gym, if everybody started to really decide to work on themselves, it would look a lot like TSA. Be very little movement. The only way to work out would be passing the weights, just you can have some. And while I was in the gym, packed in there with everybody else, there was a fire alarm that went off and some smoke that we saw. And, you know, I didn't see any fire, but 2 out of 3 signs isn't bad. And so there were only 2 exits, which in retrospect was a horrible thing. Like there was, you could only get out through the elevator, which you're not going to take during a fire, or the stairs. And so people started clamoring for the stairs. And this is where the real fitness test began. Because there were some people that were out in a flash, but then there were other people who had been working out. So they used all their fire running strength on the treadmill. So now they see that the fire alarm is going off and there's smoke, and they hop off the treadmill and they're like, oh no. And then there were other people, what I would assume people who were a bit out of their mind, that even treated the running out of the gym like a workout. There was one lady literally still looking at her watch going, and then there was me, who had been doing leg day. Tried to make my way out as fast as I could, but honestly, if I could brag on myself for a second, I had gone pretty hard. You know, I had a PR and everything, and a PR is what you don't want to have when it's time to run. Because I put the weight down, I saw everybody running out, and I made my way for the exit, and I could not stop jiggling. Like every... And yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you have to evacuate for a fire, but nobody moves like there's a fire. Even as you're going downstairs to like get out of the building that has smoke in it that is like clearly, at least seemingly on fire, you still get people that do that thing that people do when they get to the top of the stairs, where now that they're clear, they just enjoy their day. If you've ever been in a walkway, there are people who can't wait. At the beginning of the stairs, they can't wait to get up there. And then as soon as they get up there, as soon as they are past the last step, they're like, oh, yes. As if there's not a ton of people behind them. And so I'm noticing as I'm shaking and jiggling down the steps, how slow people are going down the steps. And so people do start to scream like, hey, hurry, move it, you know, fire. And then we get outside, and it was next to the door. One of the reasons everybody was slowing up was that same lady was out front near the door, just like next to the door, just run. Like, you still got the rest of the world to run. What are you waiting for? If you're waiting for your gym buddy, you left him. You left him to die. It's funny because I was watching the news and I saw this, can't really call it a debate. It was more of a screaming match. But it was on CNN. And on CNN, okay. Found the one person that works at CNN, and that's bad. I've never heard anybody clap for CNN like that. Yeah. Why is that? Now, to be fair, though, look. To be fair, we don't know where our friend is from, and CNN abroad is actually substantially better. Like, when you watch CNN and you're in like France or something, it is actually like engaging programming. That we really are the only ones that do CNN the way we do CNN. I like, as an example, when you travel the world, McDonald's is still fast food. We're the only ones that made it poison. You know, every other country, they just say what happened on the news. They just tell you. They're like, oh yeah, no, then these people came, and then the other people came, and then the first people left, and then the second group of people left. It's really mostly in the US where you watch news and it's like chaos in the streets. Like every news segment is cutting a promo for a horror movie. Oh, I was watching CNN and I saw where Jillian Michaels was on there in a debate that she seemed to have started, and they were talking about changes to the Smithsonian and how art and culture shifts between who has the power to dictate how the exhibits are written, who the exhibits are of, and everything. And Jillian Michaels was like, it's so unfair that slavery in this country only gets blamed on one race. Look, as outrageous as that is genuinely funny. Like, look, I'm not gonna tell anybody how to feel, but if you heard the words I said, that Jillian said, and you immediately got angry, I would ask you to take a step back. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. You can be angry if you want to be angry, because it is a very short-sighted, ignorant thing to say. But that's precisely why it's so funny. It is absolutely hilarious. But the best way I can describe why this is funny is when I was a kid, I would I would be at home alone for about 3 hours. I would get off, from school. I would do practice, and then I would get home and I'd be alone for about 3 hours, right? So for 3 hours, I was the only person in the house. And one day, I was just walking through the house. I was eating something. I think I was like eating some Easy Mac and walking, not paying attention where I was going. And I knocked over this vase. And it was a vase that my mom loved, right? And so it smashes on the ground. And I genuinely didn't know what to do, because I was like, man, I'm going to be in a huge amount of trouble. I need to think of something. And in my head, I was like, what should I do? Should I call my mom now and be like, hey, when you get home, you will want to beat me. But I feel like if I tell you now and you're going to be like on shift for another half hour, and then just the concern, because I never call you, I'm hoping the concern that you have that I am calling you you'll be so relieved that I'm alive, that I'm not dead, you'll want to kill me less. You know, because having that coworker be like, it's your son, you know what I mean? And then have you be like, oh, what, my baby? And then I tell you what I'm about to tell you, and then you're like, oh, I'm just so glad you're still with us that I would hate to make it so you were not, right? That was one thought. Then the other thought was, look, I've given this whole having a family thing a good run. Maybe I dip right now. Maybe I leave home right now. And then the third thing, which is what I did do, was nothing. I went to my room and played some video games for what felt like might be the last time in a long time. And then my mom got home. I remember all the noises of her getting home. I remember the like screen door, and then the lock, and then the lock turning, and then the deadbolt turning, and then her walking in, the screen door shutting behind her, her shutting the door, her locking the door, and the deadbolt. Again, every footstep from the front door to the kitchen, because she missed it at first. And then every footstep after the kitchen back into the living room, where I heard my name. And not my name the way you know it, my full legal name. You know what they put on your death certificate or before a parent kills you? My full legal name. And then I walk in, and my mom is like, what happened? What is this? And then I said, oh, you just gonna blame it on me? Wow. Maybe I was in there playing video games the entire time. Maybe somebody broke it, and left. Maybe I'm lucky to be alive right now. You're just gonna immediately blame me because I was the only one here. You're just gonna blame me because it looks like it was me. And that's kind of what Jillian Michaels was doing with the whole, like... Yeah, that's kind of what she was doing. Can't believe you would just blame it on one race of people. And it's so funny too, because when it comes to history like that, there are always these bad actors that try to pull the the thinnest straw man out of the woodwork. You know, there'll always be that person. There was a guy. I don't actually remember his name, and this is before slavery in the U.S. was more based on race, and before more people were shipped to the U.S. There was a dude that I've read about that apparently was of African descent, and he came over and he had about 2 or 3 slaves, and one of those slaves was seemingly of the Caucasian persuasion. And whether this thing is true or a myth, I've heard it my entire life when referencing slavery, that there was one black guy who had a white slave. And I'm like, look, even if that's true, that's not what it's known for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just picking and choosing how you present an entire idea. And it makes sense to me that someone like Jillian Michaels would say something like this. She is from a reality TV show. She's known for the show The Biggest Loser. Yeah, that's who she is, that coach from The Biggest Loser. You know, the nice one. The Biggest Loser was a show, I don't think it's still on the air anymore, so if you're not familiar with the show, it was a show where they would bring on people who were overweight, struggling with image and everything, and they would help them lose weight by making them do slavery.